I have to do my washing after this. Well, we got 32 minutes. There's going to be another two. Hey guys, any more here? Rebellion against the body. This has 7 chapters. Okay. Chapter 1, Rebellion. Rebellion says it all. This chapter is going to contain certain elements of the chapter. Looks can be deceiving and stretch those ligaments. This is Daniel Atama Mohi. And I know that it sounds ridiculous to be rebelling against my own body. But you see, I couldn't cross my legs until I was 27 years old. I was taken to muscle development classes, or maybe they were called muscle stretching classes. I'm not sure. Actually, I should actually say that I don't remember the exact name of this class. My mother used to take me to these classes weekly. I'm not sure as to whether I had started primary school. So looks can be deceiving. In my teens, I was a pretty tall and muscular guy, but I wasn't a very successful athlete. I was much more successful in the performing arts areas. Sometimes someone can look strong, but have zero flexibility, especially in my legs. However, I am now actually physically strong as a result of working on these things. I let my insecurities be known, and I worked very hard on them. I played rugby for 10 years, rugby league for 5 years, and I have done a number of martial arts over the past 6 years. Mainly Taekwondo and pro wrestling, but also Krav Maga, MMA and boxing. I am sticking at Taekwondo and Krav Maga, if it's meant to be. After all, there was a whole ton of trauma throughout my life by being socially ostracized and having been bullied by hundreds of people continuously in a wide variety of areas of which I was supposed to never have any success in. Areas such as fitting in, making friends, having girlfriends, graduating high school, getting and maintaining employment, keeping up with the other workers. Different types of labour machinery, operating. Sorry, I have messy writing. Become fully independent amongst many other things, which are the things that I have healed myself from as a result of finding success in these areas. I not only graduated high school, but I also went on to get a degree in Māori Studies and an NCA Level 4 National Certificate in Youth Work. There are certain places where I can fit in. I can operate front-end loaders, forklifts, amongst other things. I am fully independent as a human being. I now can keep up with the other workers, have done for quite a while now. I've dated a number of women. 2 of them went longer than 3 months. I wasn't a skilled, trained fighter growing up, and I'm still not a black belt. I still haven't released any of my books or my music online. This is my second one. So because I've healed the majority of trauma has dealt me, it's just the skilled fighter and getting a woman. Time for me to focus on my natural strengths, because I have already turned my natural weaknesses into strengths. Now it's time to get back to maximizing my natural strengths, and I can keep fit by doing martial arts. But yes, I've written 24 songs and created 24 tracks for the Pathway to Healing Part 1 and another 24 for the Pathway to Healing Part 2. I'm already living and going through my pathway to freedom. I have my own studio apartment that I rent. I paid off my student loan. I have enough money to purchase my own land. I have enough money to purchase my own house. And that's 4 of the songs. Another 3 songs. I am no longer codependent on anyone. I used to be emotionally codependent on my parents and one specific friend at the time, Jenny. Didn't put that bit in there. Didn't write this in there, but alcoholism is defeated. My voice is heard, much louder than it was before. That's the topics for 7 of the songs. But I just can't wait to get into the booth and bring out 2 quality albums, and I aim to get 100,000 views each on YouTube for 10 of my songs from the Pathway to Healing 1 and 2. And to sell albums. But I just do it for fun, That'd be nice though to get these things, aim for it, and to tour New Zealand. But I will be giving free copies of Living as an Aspie. Well, I'm giving free copies now because remember this is written before. My kettle. It was on, but it went off because the wiring, so I have to get a new one next week. Living isn't, I hold it down and it goes fine, So yeah. So I'll be giving free copies of Living as an Aspie. Well, it's here. This book, Rebelling Against the Body, and my other title, Why God Allows Autism, to organizations that serve autistic people of all ages and their caregivers support their caregivers. Why God Allows Autism is named that way because it's a book about me inquiring God as to why we were born with what we were born with. What is my purpose in life? How can I be a blessing to all those around me? And how can we make the most of ourselves? I went to be I just want to be a blessing to others. It says I want to be, and it's in it stopped. I want to be, and then there's nothing. And I put it away, yeah. So, chapter 2 of 7, stretch those ligaments. I stretch, I'm getting, since a couple of things changed, I've, got to get back into this, but snap back into it, I stretch every single day, stretching at work, during work, it's in smoker time, maybe having a rest service. Yeah, stretch. Little stretch, there you go. Couldn't cross my legs till I was 27. Got this. Do it without a wall, shall we? But when I'm sitting against the wall, it goes right down. But yeah, so I used to be all hunched up, my. Yeah. And watch this. Couldn't touch the floor. other things like that. And then I was like, oh, let's work out, get these. Must be a thing when I'm recording. I just spilled something on here. Do you know what it's like to not be able to operate your legs? Yes, I do. Let's get back into this. Chapter 2. I stretch every single day, stretching at work, during work, before and after. I stretch when I train in martial arts, before and after. My meditation stretches, and I know that I'm getting old. But I don't care. There's a time for everything. Ecclesiastes 3. Everyone gets old, but the questions are, did you become the best that you could be? Did you achieve everything that you set out to do? Did you achieve your purpose? Did you leave your legacy? Did you leave your mark? Did your life teach the lessons that you were called to teach? Did your life teach the lessons that you were called to teach? To whom you were supposed to teach? Did you do these things with your life? These are the things that matter. Getting old is inevitable. I'm 34. Getting old is inevitable. But those questions and legitimate answers are the things that matter the most. Sometimes we don't realize who is observing our lessons. I mean our actions, our lessons. I mean our words, our lessons. I mean our conscious trauma and how we have chosen to deal with it. Our lessons. I mean our unconscious trauma, if we have any, well we probably do, our unconscious trauma and how it has affected our attitude, our actions, words and lifestyle choices. My conscious, the ones I'm aware of, purposes are to deal with my trauma by facing it head on, dealing with it head on, without hurting and damaging other people. This is a mountain of lessons within itself. Also, another lesson that I am here to teach is that you should never ever treat people like trash if they are doing better than you are. And you should never ever treat people like trash if you are doing better than them. Because life goes around in cycles. You should treat people with consideration, care and respect, because you may find yourself in their position months, years or even decades down the track. And what goes around comes around, and you will reap what you sow. Wow, that went off track. Or did it? I mean, I was only speaking from the heart. And if that's my life lessons that I intend to teach, and if I look back over the decades that I've been intending and in many circumstances succeeding in my intentions to teach these things, I guess it does line up. Take care of your body. We are all guilty of doing certain things. I am guilty of caffeine. I'm having a coffee right now. Heavy alcohol drinking in years gone by. Junk food as well. But the more time you have to teach your, and then there's a curve. Oh, I was going to say body, but to teach your lessons to as many people as possible through first, second, third, fourth, or whatever hand experience, the better. First hand being through direct first hand experience through you, with you. Second hand is what someone else has said about you to those particular people. Third, fourth, and so on. How you respond and the immediate or briefly stunted revelations that come to others. Or the severely stunted revelations, or whatever it is they're at. The way you respond will eventually hit them like a ton of bricks, and the longer the deception or lack of care or simply being misguided by other people or their own lack of understanding or their own alternative perspective. Anyway, the truth will be revealed. And it will affect a whole ton of people that you aren't even of or aren't even aware that it is affecting. Then, of course, there's those that you are aware of. But yes, stretch those ligaments. Stretch your ligaments. Splits. I can't do that. Bend over and touch your toes. Stretch up on your tippy toes. Push yourself forward and hold your body at a bridge with your hands and feet on the ground. Walk, run, work out at the gym. Do martial arts, ride your bike, whatever it is that you guys like to do. But yes, stretch and keep physically fit and strong. You know? In Māori tonga they call it te tapa whā. And in English we call it holistic well-being. Te taha wairua, the spiritual element. Te taha hinengaro, the mental element. Te taha tinana, the physical element. And te taha whānau, the relational element. It all interconnects. Now, I have to get up in 7 hours, so let me dance to some music as a reward for finishing this chapter. I'm not getting up in 7 hours, it's Friday night. It is 7 o'clock on Friday night and don't work on Saturday, Sunday. Chapter 3 of 7, Mockery and Ridicule. As a teenager and in certain ways my young adulthood, I thought it was hands, that doesn't make sense. Young adulthood. As a teenager in many certain ways my young adulthood, my body capabilities didn't match my appearance. I received a lot of mockery and ridicule for drifting off whilst doing the dishes. I received mockery and ridicule for taking longer doing physical activities such as thinning trees in an orchard. Also, I never played first or second 15 rugby at high school or at club, and when I was playing club rugby, I was on the bench until the last 20 minutes. The mockery and ridicule as a result of my capabilities in comparison to my physical appearance was something normal to me. I would stand my ground once I'd had enough. Also, once I stood up for myself a couple of times, the bullying would stop. A couple of times I got dominated by my bullies, but that was because of trusting the wrong person too much. Long story short, my physical abilities didn't meet the expectations of others in regards to my physical capabilities. But as a youngster, you need to use all that mockery and ridicule to motivate yourself to keep going, to keep working on yourself. You have to make the most of what you have. You have to make the most of what you have. You have to turn the tides. You have to do this for yourself and for all those who will benefit from the outcome of your lifestyle, your life's journey, your life's story, your breakthroughs, your struggles, your triumphs. Your life story is going to be such a blessing to countless amounts of people. Chapter 4. Read 3 out of 7 chapters right now. 12 minutes to go. Chapter 4. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving just like many so-called rich people in today's modern society. A society that has been destroyed by the generation that raised us. And in a very rare occasion, Gen Z. Gen X, millennials, and in a rare occasion, Gen Z. Looks can be deceiving, but not all of them are bad, but just like they had their own stuff to face and they dealt with that. But, when you're dealing with something and, you just want to deal with that, you deal with these things and now there's other issues that come from dealing with those things, but that's left for us to, I'm sure they'll say a few things about us. Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. Looks can be deceiving, just like many so-called rich people in today's modern society. So-called rich people. Where I may look like I'm struggling at times, I'm not the one who's in the average amount of $180,000 in debt that your average person has at my age in New Zealand. But hey, they own a 2-bedroom home that they'll be paying off for the rest of their lives. Not that that's what I want for other people. But I am sick and tired of remembering the times people called me a loser. That was way, way behind them. Whilst I'm the guy who currently has what's less than this now, because this was written, finished writing over a week ago, but this chapter would have been written a couple of weeks ago, who currently has a $1,300 debt that I owe to Wins. Well, it was $1,300 last time I checked, but I currently rent out a studio apartment for $270 a week. Looks can be deceiving. You should never judge a book by its cover. Now, I have mentioned in previous chapters about my previous physical ailments that I'm glad I did not let hold me down. Because my stretching, my physical workouts have made me much, much physically and mentally stronger than what I could ever have thought I would have become. Many people kept telling me that I was so selfish, but then other people who benefited from me said that a whole lot less often, and even sometimes showed some appreciation towards me with their words. And I said all of this with a purpose. Compare that mentality to the lifestyle and the choices I exhibit today. Total opposite. Codependency is now dead. And has been for quite some 2 years to be exact. It's now midnight. It has transitioned from Friday the 23rd of September 2022 to Saturday the 24th of September 2022. It's now 20 past 7 on October the 14th, 2022, so read it to you. But it was the transitioning from Friday the 23rd of September to Saturday the 24th when I wrote it to you. Things are looking up for me as a result of my continuous ability to hang in there and to continuously clean out the inside of my house, followed by my own backyard, because I clean out and mow my own front lawn for the public to see, and when it's their turn to see, there will be a lot to see. Showmanship that's all metaphorical, because there's no lawn here and stuff. It's all metaphorical for getting my stuff sorted. Showmanship is great, so long as it lines up with reality, and that's how it is in reality. My physical strength is up there because of my workouts, as well as my now long work history in physical labor jobs, and my habit of always having my own physical workouts outside of work. My point is that you can turn any situation around for the good, and conditioning can turn absolutely anybody into a strong and seasoned veteran at anything. Don't let anyone make you think that you are something that you are not. Not everyone is deceptive. There may be genuine, caring people out there. Looks can be deceiving. Just because someone looks very muscular, it doesn't mean they are strong in the way you may think they are. I've seen some quite muscular men lose arm wrestling competitions to some much smaller men in years gone by. I also had that happen to me as well. But I guess that comes down to technique. I didn't reread this before I wrote. I didn't read it now today before I'm just reading for the first. That's right. I remember writing this. My point is, you have to make the most of what you have, what situation you're in, and who you are as a person. That's it. Life is like a box of chocolates. It's unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get. However, you can and you should plan certain things. Lay out the plans for your future, but adaptation will be needed. Appearances are important. Appearances are important because a lot of people correlate how you appear to your level of confidence, and people often treat you according to how they perceive your level of confidence. And this can in return cause your level of confidence to either rise or fall. Which is another reason why you are not to take abuse. So don't let people's actions, attitudes towards you lower your confidence, and your looks will not be deceiving. It's the end of chapter 4. I've got 3 more to go. But I think that'll be it for now.